Today, we're diving deep into one of the human body's most sophisticated and essential system, the urinary system. While most people assume the kidneys just produce urine, they're actually the body's master chemists, constantly working behind the scenes to maintain homeostasis, or the perfect internal balance. Think of your urinary system as the body high-tech filtration plant. It never sleeps. The system is a highly coordinated team. First, we have the kidneys, which act as the primary filters for our blood. Then we have the ureters, the long transport tubes that carry waste. This leads to the urinary bladder for temporary storage. And finally, the urethra, which serve as the exit point for waste. But the real magic isn't in the organs you can see. It's happening deep inside the kidney tissue itself. Within each kidney, there are approximately 1 million microscopic units called nephrons. If you have 2 healthy kidneys, that means you have 2 million filters working for you right this second. In the world of anatomy, the nephron is known as the functional unit. This means that while the kidney is the building, the nephron is the actual worker doing the heavy lifting. They don't just clean the blood, they're vital for regulating your blood pressure and keeping your electrolytes like sodium, potassium perfectly balanced. But what does a nephron actually look like? Let's break down its incredible anatomy.
Now, let's imagine the nephron as a long, winding factory, lying inside the kidney, where each part has a special job in processing fluid step by step. Glomerulus and Bowman capsule. It all begins with the glomerulus, which is a small bundle of capillaries with a high pressure. This pressure helps filter the blood. Surrounding the glomerulus in the Bowman capsule, which works like a funnel. It collects the filtered fluid, which we can call the raw fluid, before it continues to the next part. Proximal convoluted tubule. Next, the fluid moves into the proximal convoluted tubule, or PCT. The word convoluted means that the tube is very twisty. This twisted shape is important because it gives more surface area, so the nephron can reabsorb useful substances like water, glucose, and ions more effectively. Loop of Henle. After that, the fluid travels down into the loop of Henle. This part has a long U-shape that goes deep into the center of the kidney. The loop plays an important role in balancing water and salt, helping the body maintain proper fluid levels. Distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct. As the fluid moves back up, it enters the distal convoluted tubule, or DCT, where further adjustment happen. Finally, the fluid flows into the collecting duct. Here, the final process takes place, and the fluid is turned into urine, which will be excreted from the body. So, each part of the nephron works together in a clear sequence, transforming filtered blood into urine through a precise and organized process.
The nephron is split between 2 worlds. In the cortex, the renal corpuscle filters blood, which then flows through the proximal and distal tubules. But then, the nephron dives deep into the medulla via the loop of Henle to concentrate the urine, before returning to the cortex and finally exiting through the collecting duct. It's a high-speed journey of perfect filtration. further information, let's dive deep into the explanation.
To create urine and keep your internal environment stable, the nephron executes three distinct high-precision phases. Phase 1 is filtration. This high pressure happens in the glomerulus. Think of it as the body's ultimate sieve. Under intense hydrostatic pressure, water and small solutes like ions and urea are pushed out of the blood and into the tubule system. However, the system in selective big players like red blood cells and large protein stay safely in the pipes because they're simply too bulky to pass through the filter spores. Phase 2 is reabsorption. And honestly, it's where the real magic happens. During filtration, the body occasionally tosses out things it definitely still needs, essential food like glucose, vital salts, and massive amounts of water. As the fluid travels through the proximal tubule and dives down into the loop of Henle, the body reclaims these precious nutrients, specialized transporters, pump them back into the bloodstream, ensuring we don't literally flush our energy supplies down the drain. Phase 3 is secretion. If reabsorption is about saving, secretion is the final cleanup. In the distal tubule, the body takes a final look at the blood and identifies lingering toxins, excess potassium, or processed drugs. It actively pumps this directly into the tube to be flushed out. This is the body's primary way to fine-tuning your chemistry, keep your pH levels and electrolytes in razor-thin, healthy range. By the time the fluid leaves these three states, it's no longer just filtered blood, it's officially urine, a perfectly balanced waste product ready for excretion. It's a complex cycle of filtering, reclaiming, and refining that happens thousands of times every single day.
Nephrons play a crucial role in filtering waste and maintaining the body's balance. However, when nephrons are damaged, it can lead to kidney failure. And the most concerning part is the nephrons do not regenerate. Once they are damaged or lost, they are gone permanently. The biggest causes of nephrons damage are diabetes and hypertension. High blood sugar levels can damage the tiny blood vessels in the kidneys over time. Similarly, high blood pressure puts excessive force on these delicate vessels, causing them to weaken or even rupture. In particular, the glomerulus, where filtration begins, is highly sensitive to these conditions. Other contributing factors include infections and obesity, which can further stress the kidneys. One of the challenges is that kidney disease is often called a silent disease. This is because symptoms usually do not appear until the damage has become severe. However, there are some warning signs we should be aware of. For example, edema or swelling, especially in the ankles and legs, persistent fatigue, nausea, and change in urination patterns, such as urinating more or less frequently, are also important symptoms. If you have conditions like high blood sugar or high blood pressure, you are in high-risk group. Therefore, it is
is essential to monitor your health regularly and take preventive measures early, because protecting your nephrons means protecting your life.
When the nephron system fails, modern medicine provides life-saving alternative. We use dialysis, which acts as an artificial nephron to filter toxins, or a kidney transplant for long-term recovery. We also use medication to lower blood pressure, which reduces the physical stress on the remaining hardworking nephrons. But prevention is our best tool. As veterinarians, we focus on three pillars of renal health. First is hydration. Drinking enough water helps the kidneys flush out metabolic waste like urea. Second, healthy diet. We must educate patients to reduce processed like salt and sugar. High sodium intake forces the kidney to work overtime and raise blood pressure. And third, regular check. Monitoring blood sugar and pressure is vital because kidney damage is often silent until it's advanced. In a clinical setting, nursing care focuses on fluid balance carefully, measuring what goes in and what comes out to prevent overload. Your nephrons work 24 hours a day to keep your body clean. Take care of them and they will take care of you.
A woman appears weak and pale, sitting quietly in a dimly lit room. As we take a closer look, we can see what is happening inside her kidneys. High blood sugar disrupts normal blood flow and damages the tiny vessels in the glomerulus. At the same time, high blood pressure puts constant force on the blood vessel walls, causing them to become stiff, damaged, and leaky. In addition, excess body fat puts extra strain on the kidneys, forcing them to work harder and slowing down the filtration process. As the damage continues, more and more nephrons stop working, weakening the kidneys. These changes begin to affect the body, causing swelling in the feet, extreme fatigue, and a worsening overall condition. This shows that the damage has become severe and is difficult to reverse.
So, you got the floopy doopy in your plumb bob? Let me check. Your shimmy.
Thank you for watching.